I think the word unwritten rules or the phrase unwritten rules are kind of funny, right? Because if you go, well, if it should be a rule, shouldn't it be written somewhere? Shouldn't that be in the book? You're not supposed to do these things. Well, there's still unwritten rules in life and in sports. And last night, I think the Reds broke an unwritten rule. And I think it was Bush League. Now, we might start the show with an argument today, which that's not a good way to start our day. Ryan and I usually see eye to eye on some things, but he has already kind of primed me to say that maybe he doesn't have that big of a problem with what the Reds did last night. He's wearing a red hoodie this morning. Maybe you need to go down and join Drew in Bangalore.
No. See, it is red.
I almost sent a tweet at those guys, and I go, is this how you guys roll in Cincinnati?
It is red, and in fact, it is a Cincinnati hoodie.
Well,
but it's University of Cincinnati, the only good thing.
Is that how you guys roll with the Bearcats? Is that how things go down there on the border of Kentucky? Is that how they do things down there?
Their only redeemable quality is the Bearcats.
That's fine. Certainly not Skyline. Is that how the Skyline Eaters handle themselves? Bunting with a perfect game on the line? We will discuss that. We got Guardians. The mystique of Jose Ramirez on his way to a 40-40-40 season. I hope he gets it. But some of the incredible things about Jose, we'll talk about that. Boy, do we have a lot of Browns to talk about. There's a playbook that I've seen for the last 20 years with this team. And that playbook, Ryan, is when the fans turn on the quarterback. And I unfortunately think we might be on the precipice of like play 4 of that playbook when it comes to Deshaun Watson. We'll talk about that. We heard some things from Watson that I don't like at all, and I'm a little concerned about it. So we'll get into plenty of Browns this morning. We're going to take a look to the Raiders today. I'm excited. 10:30 this morning. Q Myers. I host with Q sometimes on ESPN Radio, but he's out of Vegas. He hosts Raider Nation Radio. And he's also the Locked On Raiders host podcast. So we'll get a little insight on what Vegas has cooking up for Sunday. So we'll talk to Q. Big day for the grid, baby. And we still got our Wordle out that we need to get to later today. We'll get to the bracket. We got time up, morning update, Thursday night football plays. We got it all for you on a beautiful day right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. We got to get right to it. How was that not Bush League BS from the Reds last night? That is low, okay? Now, I want to start, and I think everybody knows what was happening last night. The Guardians had a perfect game going on a bullpen day, okay? They started, everybody pretty much pitched, and it was a bullpen game. And I will fully admit that bullpen games or combined no-hitters or combined perfect games do not hold the same amount of water for me. It's something special when one guy goes out there and does 27 outs or throws a no-hitter. So I start by saying it was a bullpen game. But for TJ Friedl to come up and throw a bunt the way that he did, that's weak. That is low. And I would say the same thing if the Guardians did that. You stand up there and you take your at-bats. And then I know Ellie got the infield single. Jimenez threw it away. They score some runs. Fine. Ryan, you played baseball growing up.
Played it for all my life.
So did I. If it was a teammate of mine, I would look at him and go, really? Really? Now, I had obviously somebody searching some Reds fan account telling me, oh, that's what you got to do to win the game, or they were just trying to come back and win a game. Win a game for what? Your team sucks, okay? And I guess maybe I'd be singing a different tune if it was the World Series or something like that. There's a decorum to be had. And I'm telling you, if I was TJ Friedl's teammate and he walks in there, I'd even go, what are you doing? Stand up there, take your at-bats. Then that account tried to tell me, well, Heron could have fielded. No, he couldn't have, because nobody in their right mind thought somebody would be so low to try to bunt to break up a perfect game. Am I that pissed because it wasn't Gavin Williams, it wasn't Tanner Bybee that was throwing a perfect game? It was a bullpen one, and I don't care that much about a bullpen combined no-hitter, whatever. I'm talking about the essence of the fact that you went up to that plate and said, this is what I'm going to do. That's low. That is weak. And I'm so glad we won that game. And even when Friedel came up in the 9th, I still would have thrown at him. You deserve one in the ribs for that. That's bull crap. Utter bull crap. And I shouldn't get that worked up. We won the game. We're in the hunt for the number 1 seed in the AL. Go ahead, Ryan.
I understand the argument. I understand the gravity of what that perfect game would have meant. But at the same time, we're talking about if you want the perfect game, then field the bunt. I understand that you weren't ready for it, you weren't prepared for it, but at the same time, how can you? I personally don't have that much issue of them doing that. If you want the perfect game, then prepare for every situation and field the bunt. I don't think it's that difficult, and I don't think it's that Bush League, Matt.
I do.
I really don't. If you want the perfect game, then field the bunt.
This is like, other sports. There's a guy. Oh God, who was it? Somebody in basketball, they were going to get a triple-double or something. They missed the shot on purpose.
Different.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It is coming up there and saying, I'm going to screw this up. Okay, and I get it. And if they would have got a single or a regular one or a regular infield hit.
Then let me ask you this, because you're talking about, okay, what if this happened in the 4th inning? Completely different, right? So was it the 7th inning? That was the benchmark? Oh, now you can't bunt all of a sudden because it's a 7th inning and we have this going for us? What's the benchmark? Would you have been mad if they did that in the 3rd inning while the perfect game's still valid?
Probably not. You're right.
That's my point.
So what counts?
What's the benchmark of them not being able to bunt?
Come up there and understand, earn it. Earn your hit.
My whole thing, you wouldn't be saying that if that was in the 4th inning, would you have? A perfect game?
Maybe not.
Probably not. So what's the benchmark for you're not allowed to bunt?
At that point, I would say, 7th inning and beyond, something like that. And again, this was not something that was really going to be historic, right? Again, if you write it down, Eric Sabrowski and all these other guys, great, awesome. And I'm not that upset that the perfect game. Here's the thing. My anger is not that the perfect game got broken up, because I really didn't care. It's how they did it. The fact that he was going to go up to that plate and say, watch this, and do it. That's freaking low. And
if you want the perfect game that bad, sorry, prepare for the bunt.
If it was the Guardians, I'd be telling you the same thing. This isn't an anti-Reds take. There's some unwritten rules. That is Bush League. That was Bush League. And I would say the same thing if I was on that team, if it was my team. Go up there and get a real hit. Go up there and earn it. That was a borderline meaningless game for everybody involved anyway, right? For me, we already got the top 2 seed. I'm fine. I'm chilling. Yeah, I want the 1 seed. That's fine. We're doing just fine. It wasn't a World Series. It wasn't something that one guy was going for history. There's all these factors about why I shouldn't be upset about it. And frankly, I just think that is low. I just think that's low. Is it within the rules? Absolutely. Did they end up scoring runs because of that to jumpstart? That's what that guy said, or woman, or whoever it was on Twitter, the Red Stan account that was out there. Well, they wanted to jumpstart the offense. How about you go earn a hit? How about you go out there and earn a hit?
This is on the same level of banging trash cans.
No, well... Did you see that yesterday? They gave Bregman a standing ovation. He's a cheating son of a gun is what he is.
Matt, the polls up and 36 votes in, and majority are saying they don't have an issue.
No. Come on now. Do they? Okay, here's what the other part of it. Do you have an issue or don't have an issue with it because it was a borderline meaningless game? Did you not have an issue with it because it doesn't matter all that much? Ryan, he said it goes to Ryan play baseball. Mike tweets, he goes, did Ryan ever play baseball?
I played baseball my whole entire life.
Again, put yourself in that scenario.
And I played the hot corner, Matt, so I fielded many a bunts. And if you're not ready for it, that's on you.
I think we might be arguing different things here. Do you have a problem with Friedel going up there and saying, this is what I'm going to do?
No. I don't want a perfect game thrown against me. I know you always talk about nobody remembers who was it against, but they do. They will. The Reds will.
If he walked back in that dugout, I'd look at him as a teammate and go, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You're not, I don't want to say, you're not enough of a player to go out there and earn on your own? You're not enough of a player to go out there and try to get a hit on your own? Is that how it's going to go? Is that how it's going to be?
You're the same person who argues when we talk about, like, remember when we talk about with, like, Vote, when he was talking about, oh, they started throwing different stuff, or, oh, they started blitzing, like, oh, they're not allowed to do that?
No, they're allowed to do things like that. That, in that situation, if there was a walk, if there was a hit already and you're down and you want to try to do that, no, he went up there to try to break it up.
No shit.
Own it. Own it. Stand in there and try to get a hit. I think we're just going to differ on this.
I think we're just going to differ. I understand where your frustration is spawning
and again,
from.
The game,
but
in
I'm
the
saying
the game, it really doesn't matter.
Yes,
but Ryan, take the teams out of it. If you read that the Padres and the Dodgers were playing and somebody bunted to break up a perfect game, does that statement not sound disgusting?
So is this not the same? Would this not be equivalent to the same thing in a different sport, right? Steph Curry, let's say he's 1-3 away from breaking the record.
And you
want the defenders to just sag off? Like,
well, no,
sag off. He's on a chance for history. We earn it.
No. The other thing would be is if they just ran up and fouled him.
That's different.
They would just run up and foul him.
It's different.
It's with, and you're going to get on me for this, but it's kind of how it is. It's outside the scope of the game. It's outside the scope of the game. If there was somebody on and you needed to move that runner over or something like that, no. It's outside the scope of what was happening at that exact moment in that game. You think he wakes up this morning and feels really good about what he did?
His average does.
Oh, okay. Should have been an error. Not really, but
what if he had contractual then
he got DFA'd? Yeah, then maybe that could happen. Yeah, something like that. No, that's two Bush League things in baseball this week. I've never tweeted that phrase as much as I have this week.
Yes, that's Bush League with the Pirates.
No, I know it was. That was just weak. Not like weak as far as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Dude, that was weak. So far, people are saying no.
Come on. No way. I think that vote is predicated that people didn't really care about that game because we're in such a position of strength because we've already clinched up borderline everything that we can. And if anything, it gave you some, like, I'll be happy for the Jose home run. You would not have had that if he had the bunt down, if they hadn't scored those runs.
Facts.
A little bit of hype. A little bit of hype there for Jose, which I liked. I thought it was Bush League. I thought it was weak. Go up there and earn it. Go up there and earn it.
He did earn it.
No, he
got on base.
No, he didn't.
He laid down and he got the batter out and scored a nice bunt.
He laid down. You're right. They laid down is what they did.
He laid down a nice bunt.
That Bush League. Just Bush League. We're going to differ.
Bunting we're going to differ.
The Twitter question is up. At Matt Fontana Show, did you take issue with it? I did. I think that's weird.
Yeah, you thought the results would be a little different, didn't you?
We got time. Don't be celebrating over there. We got time. We got plenty of time.
I thought I'd be in the minority on this as well.
I think people are voting that they don't care because they don't care about the game. The game really didn't matter all that much.
You want a perfect game, field the bunt.
I guess it is. Jose Ramirez damn near perfect. He's closing in on a 40-40-40 season. Anthony Castrovince, yesterday, MLB.com. There is nobody in baseball that has more extra base hits since 2016 than Jose Ramirez. Sarah Langs, 38, 38, and 40. 38 home runs, 38 doubles, and 40 stolen bases in a season has happened 3 times. Alfonso Soriano did it twice, and now Jose Ramirez with a chance to get 40, 40, 40.
All our YouTube goons are on my side.
Oh, come on, guys. What are you doing over there?
Charles, I would do it. I'm playing to win every time. Getting on base however I can. Bunting is hard. Not like it's an automatic hit. Skrills just says, Reds now all players from their Kentucky AAA team. Marshall, I don't know why Matt is so mad. It's a combined no-hitter. You're going to be mad if you're down a run and you need a hit and we bunt to win? No way.
Earn the hit. Earn the hit.
Bunting's not
Earn
easy.
the hit.
Bunting is an art.
I know that. I was proud to say I was a very good bunter when I played. It's hard. I know that. Earn it. Earn it. Come on now. Can we earn it?
What position did you play?
Catcher. Then I moved to first. Then eventually the outfield.
I was catcher,
actually.
then I moved to third.
Yeah. I tried third. I don't know.
See, I had a nasty glove. I just couldn't hit my weight.
I could hit for power. I had a strong arm. I had a really strong catcher. Like, I threw a lot of guys out. I had a really strong arm as a catcher. That's why they thought, like, oh, we'll move you to third base. But there was something weird because, again, the distance is the same, but it was weird for me to throw to first for some reason. I don't know why. It got in my head. Like, I could field. It was okay. Like, first base was fine. But I don't know. Especially on that stage, like, everybody's going to talk about it. Like, do you really want to be that guy? Like, do you want to go down as that guy? And it'll be lost to history. Nobody will remember that.
I think you will.
Huh?
Sounds like you will.
No, I mean, I just, whatever. And it's not a game that I started by saying I would not put as much weight on that because it was combined. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that Gavin Williams had it cooked. I think we'd all be singing a different tune if that was the case. It was combined. You telling me that you wouldn't be upset about that? If Gavin Williams or Joey Cantillo had that rolling and then they lose it? Like, that's the thing. Let me ask you that. Okay, say it was Joey Cantillo.
Right.
And he was at that point of the game,
right,
and then they steal that away from Joey Cantillo. You wouldn't be upset about that?
I don't think so. I think, if you want the perfect game, then earn it.
They had been earning it.
Right, until that point.
Until that point when they just Bush leagued it. They Bush leagued it. That's Bush league. Okay? That's fine. Whatever.
I don't know if I buy that you say you would have the same energy if the Guardians were reversed.
Oh, no, I would be upset if the Guardians did that. I would be. Because, again, I don't really, like you said, it's not so much about the team that gets no hit. People very rarely remember teams that get the perfect game thrown against them or things like that. But I'm just telling you, if that was my team, I'd feel scummy. I would feel scummy if that was my team.
Sometimes you got to get
and that makes sense with the skyline and with the river down there. I get it. That's kind of what they do in Cincinnati. That's just how they roll. That's just how they roll. But it is what it is. Jose Ramirez is absolutely insane, which is awesome. I ran through some of those statistics there. I know people get wrapped up a little bit in the AL MVP and things like that, but it's all good, man. Jose.
Who do you think should win MVP?
It's going to be Judge.
Yeah, but I honestly, I would give it to Witt.
It's going to go Judge, Witt. I really think Jose. I really think those will be your top three, which is fine. And I think another recognition for him, it's just he would have had it in a lot of other years. Bobby Witt would have had it in a lot of other years. It was just something that, hey, man, this is the year that Aaron Judge goes off and he's hitting home runs. Now, he was hitting home runs in a loss yesterday.
Yeah, man.
Half game, baby. We're off. Houston for us this weekend. And we'll see kind of where it plays out from there. But I got to tell you, this team getting hot at the right time, get the bats flowing, that's going to be the key and the carryover for the bye, for the time off. I love what I see. And now you see a lot of these change. So Cantillo pulled yesterday. He's going to go today. Then they're going to do opener Gavin Williams Sunday, which is your tip that Williams is probably going to go to the bullpen. Then I've got something from ESPN. I wasn't going to get to it right now, but I'll just bring it up quick. That they ran through their MLB insiders. Jeff Passan, Buster Olney, Jesse Rogers, Jorge Castillo, and Eldon Gonzalez. And they talked about everything going into the playoffs, right? And they talked about this guy and that guy. Bro, they didn't bring the Guardians up once. They didn't bring them up. They were asked, bold playoff predictions. Is this the year the Yankees finally win the pennant? Jorge Castillo said, are the Astros still in the American League? Then no. Like, they're giving all the flowers to the Astros. The only thing that got brought up, which I think was pretty interesting, was under the radar star potential coming up. And then they talked about Matt Boyd. Jeff Passan, a scout watching Matthew Boyd starts, summed him up very simply. Yeah, that's Matt Boyd. Coming off Tommy John, he hasn't lost what made him very good. Striking out guys with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball he only uses half the time, a slider and a changeup are both swing and miss pitches. His home run rate is down despite nearly 70% of fly balls against him. So if the number regresses, the effectiveness of Boyd might too. But he's got a 2.7 ERA in 8 starts, 46 strikeouts, and just under 40 innings pitched to just 13 walks. He might have to be your guy in the rotation. And I don't know what's, Cobb is getting over this blister and finger thing. Gavin Williams to the bullpen, fine. Joey Cantillo to the bullpen, fine. Bobby's starting game 1.
Yes, sir.
I kind of like Matt Boyd for game 2. If not Cobb, maybe Lively. But I think game 2 is all Matt Boyd.
Yeah,
so I read that article.
That is a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I would think so. And I read through that article on ESPN just to see if they put the Guardians there. Take that as a little disrespect. They didn't.
Of course.
It sounds like nobody's really buying the Guards right now. But yeah, man, exactly right. That ain't nothing new for this team. That's fine. Everybody's all jacked up on the Astros. Everybody's all thinking the Royals will turn out. Okay, fine. Bring it on, man. They mentioned Clase and Boyd once in this whole article. That's the only Guardians mention about anything. So I'm not searching for those flowers. I don't need them. I don't want them. Go ahead and turn some things around here and prove some people wrong getting into the playoffs. Well, hope the Browns still have a chance at the playoffs.
Well, we can't end talking about the Guardians without shouting out Clase. Breaking the record.
What record?
Most saves in a season for the Guards.
Oh, for the Guardians. Yeah. I did see that. You see the list? It's like him, Joe frickin' Borowski, we forget about, like Wickman, back to Class A, back to somebody else, back to Class A. Like, he's got 3 of the top 6 seasons already.
Cy Young him.
He ain't going to win it now that the Tigers are good. Scooble's going to get it. And again, you do the Triple Crown, you're probably assured to get it. But Class A will finish second. I don't see anybody else that deserves that other than those 2. So if you want to go Scooble 1, Co maybe.
Who?
Could you do Cy Young winners?
Have they done that before?
I think so.
Do you know they did co-MVPs in the NFL one year?
Yeah, it was oh God.
Why did they do that? Do you know?
The votes are split.
Oh.
Wasn't that like Steve McNair or something like that? Hang on. I'm looking up both here. Well, real quick. MVP. That's right. Peyton Manning, Steve McNair.
What year?
Did I not say that? Did I not say McNair? 03. Peyton Manning and Steve McNair split the AP MVP.
Wow. I was in diapers.
That year. Rub it in. Cy Young. You know what? Maybe they haven't done it. No, they've never done Cy Youngs. They have too many voters for that. There's a lot of people that vote for that. Right? Yeah, I don't see it. But I think he'll get there. Again, second place, I think, is what he's going to finish out there. But you're right. Congratulations to Emmanuel Clase on that. We got to flip over to the Browns because we hear from Deshaun Watson yesterday. And, okay. I've seen this playbook happen over and over again. Okay. In this town, you get a quarterback. You think they're all it. Eventually, they turn out to not be. But there are a lot of steps in between that. And one of those steps is when it starts to turn on the fan base. And I'm not saying that what I heard from Deshaun Watson yesterday is him turning on the fan base or him starting to yell at people about what he reads on social media. He kept saying yesterday, I don't read it, I don't watch it. Now, you know that's a lie, and I do too, but that's okay. We'll set that aside for right now. Some of the things that I just hear from Deshaun Watson, he sounds defeated. He sounds like he knows that there's this giant groundswell of people talking, and now he's starting to get a little snippy on they're not in the film room, and they don't know what they're watching. So I want to play a couple of these clips before we get into this discussion. So we're going to start with a video clip. You got your video clip to start here, Ryan? All right, let's do this.
I sure do.
Courtesy of the Browns. He was asked about the play that's been ripped apart all week. From Orlovsky, from Matt Verdame, we played the clip here. It was Jordan Akins was wide open in the flat. And the question is, was he the decoy or whatever? Here's Deshaun Watson asked about that specific play yesterday, video and audio, courtesy of the Browns.
Because other people are not in the film room, so that not everyone know exactly what the read was. That was a decoy, so that's the difference. Everyone can pause the tape and say, hey, he should have thrown it here, should have thrown it here. Every quarterback deal with that. So if you choose one play and that's the play out of the whole game that everyone is calling, then so be it. It is what it is. No one's in those film rooms. No one is making those decisions. So I go based off of what is Ken Dorsey and Kevin Stefanski is saying. And, on that decision, they made a good play. They got jammed up on the slant. That's what we did it. The previous time when we scored a touchdown, I did the same as that read, and I hit Jerry. So, did I see it wrong then? So for me, it's just, like I said before, it's just I go based off what Kevin and Ken is making those decisions and how they're grading me on that.
I get where he's coming from. That we're all armchair quarterbacks and sitting there and watching, and we think we know this and we think we know that. Deshaun, we boil it down. There was a guy wide open. You were looking at him throw the football.
But he was a decoy.
Right. And I don't know what the play call was, and Deshaun knows more football than I could ever hope to know, right? He's been in there. He gets it, all that kind of stuff. Deshaun, do you understand why people would question on a critical play like that if he's the decoy or not? What, you weren't supposed to throw him the football? Then a smoking gun people want to jump onto. When Jordan Akins was asked about it on Monday, he made it out to be like he wasn't a decoy. So what is it?
You know what it is.
I know what it is. But, this is the battle that I just wanted to avoid so bad, and we're here. And on this freaking playbook that I've seen over and over and over again is eventually the quarterback starts telling the fans they don't know football. That's on this list. This hell list of quarterbacking.
The stages of grief.
The stages of grief, the stages of turning on your quarterback. One of those stages is eventually the quarterback telling the fans they don't know football. Congratulations, we have arrived. We are now at that stage, okay, of him trying to tell people they don't know what they're seeing. That we are not going down a good path right now. We are not going down a good path right now. Now to follow up from Kevin more on Deshaun Watson. This is another comment, different in his interview, talking about the fans don't know what the reads are. Courtesy of the Browns.
Which one is it? Sorry,
the one the fans don't know the reads.
I got you. Here we go.
Yeah, here we
go. Because I know reality. I see the game differently than the fans see it. So I don't get frustrated because someone else's opinion from seeing it from the stands or pausing it on tape think that this is the right decision, So if you're not, a coach or playing the quarterback position, I might hear it depending on who you are, but at the end of the day, no one's in the meeting rooms but me, Ken, Kevin, DTR, and Jameis. So we know the reads. We know exactly where the ball should go. And like I said before, we just, whatever grade that we get graded on each and every Monday after the game, that's what we go with.
Do you know what I care about on Mondays, Ryan?
Victory Monday?
When did we win? I don't care about your grade. I don't care that you made the right read and threw an incompletion. Did we win the football game? And if you want to start the argument about, well, we lost, but I played okay, then let's not go there. For the love of God, please don't let us get there. Well, we lost, but I played. I made all my reads. I was perfect. Go, hey, look at my sheet. Here's my sheet. Kevin Stefanski wrote me up. I graded out just fine. When we start to get to that,
Is that step 3?
That's like, yeah, we're next on that. Well, I played well, but everybody else didn't. And again, here's the funny thing. All week, I've been saying I gave Deshaun Watson the pass for Sunday because I don't think anybody could have won that game, and I thought the offensive line was so bad. So, like, at that point, just own it. Does that not come off of? And I'm not trying to make this out to us versus Deshaun Watson thing. I think he's doing that on his own. Own it. To just say, I see the read there. I understand what people are talking about. We need to be better on offense.
Yeah.
They don't know football. I mean, you don't know the play call.
Ever since Deshaun Watson got to Cleveland, let's not sugarcoat it. He has had some of the worst press conferences I've quite frankly ever seen.
Oh, no, and I've been at quite a few of them. And that has a lot to do with the off-the-field stuff and that. And I think it's when obviously that has to be a factor in this whole thing as the evaluation goes for Deshaun Watson. We're at a point now where I think we can kind of focus on football. I know the other lawsuits out there and all that. We can kind of focus on football right now. What I'm seeing on the football field is not good. It's not. So instead of the collective, right? What is a lot of this coming off of from Deshaun Watson? Excuse making. You don't know the play. I made the right read, all that other kind of stuff. That's another thing that I don't want to hear. Kevin Stefanski, for his own fault or not, which we'll hear this clip from him in a second, he always puts it on himself. He always talks about the group. Even on very individual questions, he defends his guys and he says, we need to play better and we need to do things better and it's not all Deshaun's fault. And then I hear clips from Deshaun basically saying, well, you don't know football. You don't know what you're talking about. No, man, we watched the games. And yes, I don't know what the play call is, and I don't know. I just saw a guy open that you were looking at and you took a sack. Yeah. That's all I know. In my simple-minded brain, that's all I know. And you lost the football game. That's it. That's it. And then if you want to talk about the other parts, and we didn't clip this because it was short things. He's like, oh, I don't read this outside noise and all that kind of stuff. And you know that that's not true.
Yeah.
You know that's not true.
And
and it's like that. I get it. It's social media, and that's the world that we live in. And he's got all this stuff that gets out there. But yeah, you need to shut it down. You need to look aside. But the problem is, and what I would honestly, I would tell Deshaun Watson this if he came in and sat down here. I would say, Deshaun, I know whatever happened in your personal life, that's your business. I will tell you just in this town, man, we want you to play well. We want you to take this team where you want to go. And a giant mistake that some people think around here is that they are against you. We want you to be good. Now, again, there will be a group of people that don't want to see him succeed because of the off-the-field stuff. I would tell you the vast majority of Browns fans want you to be successful here. They want it to work. So don't look at it that we're out to get you. The other part of it, it serves no purpose. It serves zero purpose to think about what some guy in his couch is saying. I'll tell you this, Deshaun, it serves no purpose for you to listen to me when I'm sitting here telling you what you should do or not. You got to go out there and win, though. You've got to prove to people that you can win football games before you start pulling this crap. He's going to the you don't know football. That's on that list, man, of this going bad. Now, you could go out there Sunday and get it all fixed and be right as rain, and maybe we'll have a different conversation. But I think that was handled so wrong on his point. Dude, own it. Just everybody own this as a team. Amari Cooper, you had a great game. I need you to go out there and say we didn't do enough. Joel Bitonio, you were out of bad. You had to move out to a different spot. All that. Own it and say we need to be better. Because that's all you hear from Kevin Stefanski is we need to be better. The offense needs to be better. And now you've got Watson making this out to be an individual thing. And I get that he should only listen to his coaches. Then do that. Don't start telling people that they don't know football. Just say, we're working on it. We're working on it. Less is more. In this situation, where, again, I listen to his press conferences, and I get that he, sometimes, dude, take the Kevin Stefanski route, 2-sentence answers. Give us nothing. Hey, Deshaun, what'd you see on that read? We didn't convert there. We all need to be better. Hey, Deshaun, what do you think about the protection getting hit? He kind of took a shot at Scott. Scott asked him, he goes, how hard is it when you're getting hit like that? And he goes, not to be rude, but that's a common sense question.
He said that?
Yeah, he said that to Scott. Scott asked him a legitimate question here. I didn't clip this. I should have.
He's a disaster, Matt.
He's in his own head now.
He's a disaster.
He's in his own head now.
He's been in his own head.
Well, then we'll talk about the design run thing here in a second. Okay, this is the exact transcript. How hard is it to succeed when you get sacked as much as you're getting sacked? When you get sacked 8 times and hit 17 times, how hard is it a quarterback to succeed like that? Deshaun, I mean, that's a common sense question. I think, honestly, not being rude, just, yeah. It's a legit question. We need to be better. Deshaun, just this phrase. We need to be better. Just say that over and over and over again. Just keep saying that over and over and over again. Because you want to know what? Trying to win press conferences doesn't work either. When you try to get in there and try to make it out that it wasn't as bad as we all thought it was, or you were playing all right, don't do that. Because then it also starts to alienate some of your other guys when you start to make it an individual. And I say quarterback will always get the lion's share of the blame and probably the praise too. And he says, oh, I accept that. I know that that's what this position is. Just take it, man. Just take it for right now. It's not going well. Sunday was a disaster. Now, the good thing is you have a chance to turn it around against the team that I think you should beat. And maybe we'll be having a different conversation next week. But let's flip it over. Let's hear Kevin Stefanski on this then. So here's Stefanski. Question about protecting Watson. What do you got to do to protect him better? It's Kevin Stefanski, audio courtesy of the Browns.
That's our job, Mary Kay. And in order to play good football, good offensive football, we need to protect the quarterback better than we have. And that starts with me, and I'll make sure that we get that fixed.
We need to do better. I'm going to get it fixed, and it starts with me. That's ownership. That's ownership. And I don't think Deshaun Watson has ownership of his play right now. Seriously. Maybe that's a big problem that we're not realizing right now. Do you think Deshaun Watson is taking ownership of his play right now?
Doesn't sound like it.
That doesn't sound like it. Does not sound like it. So maybe we start there and understand you're not the same quarterback you were. And it's going to have to be a little bit different. Now, to the other big part of the press conference, they kept asking him, should there be more design runs? And he goes, well, I'm not a running quarterback. Maybe we need to be. Something's going to have to change on this offense because it's not going well. And the more that you try to just jam this square peg into this round hole, the harder it's going to be, and you're going to keep wasting this season away. There has eventually got to be a light that goes off and the epiphany that something's going to have to change. Maybe Sunday will be it. I don't know. There's 2 changes to be had. Watson figures it out, or we change the offense and he is just a middle-of-the-road game manager quarterback. One of those 2 things got to happen. Or if you just want to keep running him out there and 5 and 7 step drops and him missing guys wide open, then we'll just waste this season away and we'll get ready for the draft come up in April. That's it. That's it. That's where we're at. And it's hard because we're 3 games into this season. What did I yell? What did we yell about the other day? I'm not ready to give this season up yet. The season is far from over. So I need them to understand their issues. You cannot correct an issue until you understand what the problem is.
That's step 1.
That's step 1. Understand that there's a problem. And you tried to do it this way. You're now 1-2, and the only team that you beat looks like the worst team in football right now. Are they the only? Oh, no, the Bengals. There's 2 winless teams, and one of those ones you beat.
There's 3, the Titans.
Oh, yeah, the Titans. I forgot about them. Everybody forgets about
Everybody
forgets about the Titans. That's fine. That's where we're at. Next up from Kevin Stefanski. He was asked, where do you think Deshaun Watson's confidence is at with everything that's gone on? Here's Kevin Stefanski, courtesy of the Browns.
Need to play better offensively. I understand the quarterback gets a lot of criticism, gets a lot of blame, gets the glory, those type of things. And Deshaun knows that. He's been doing this his whole life. But we need to play better offensively is what I would tell you.
There you go. Final thing from Kevin Stefanski. I know this was a big topic all week. Kevin, do you think that some of the offensive problems have been due to trying to integrate a little of Ken Dorsey's offense? Here's Kevin yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. I think we need to play better. I need to coach better, and we will.
there was that opportunity that Stefanski would never take to be like, that might have something to do with it, but he never takes it. He never does that, right? He's never going to say that. And it's something that I wanted to play that because it'd be easy for me to sit here and say, I told you, and see it. Like, I was never one that said that Ken Dorsey had a lot to do with this. I frankly don't think he does.
I think that's ridiculous.
I really do. I think it's a pretty tired take that people are trying to say that this is at all related to Ken Dorsey. We know who it's related to. We know the problem, okay? And I just really think Ken Dorsey was brought here. Here's the biggest way I can do it, okay? Ken Dorsey, I feel like, was kind of like an expert in running this spread offense, right? Now, you could laugh about what he did in Buffalo, but you go back to what he did with Cam Newton in Carolina, and you say, you have this area of expertise. I'm maybe a little deficient in this area. I need help. I'm going to bring you in. That's what I viewed Ken Dorsey. I view him almost as like a consultant who's got the role of offensive coordinator. He's not calling plays. I'm sure he's helping Kevin, but it's like, we want to go in this direction. You're really good at this. Let's bring you in and help you figure out. Now that it's going bad, how do we know that the game plan is not set up properly? Oh, wait, that's right. The fans don't know about the game plan. Never mind. That's right. We don't know anything about it. How do we know that Dorsey has actually not brought good things? It's just not getting executed on the field. We don't know that. So for Kevin, which he was always going to go that way, to say like, no, I don't think that's fair. I just think this Dorsey thing is completely overblown. I'm not saying 0% because he's got to have some involvement, but bro, Ken Dorsey's got nothing to do with this. You know that. I know that. Kevin Stefanski knows that.
Yeah, and it's not as though last year when Deshaun Watson was on the field, like, the offense was good, right? It's not like he came in here and ruined something that was fixed. No, it's been broken, and at some point you have to realize, hey, maybe it's the quarterback that just simply can't execute what we've seen work with other quarterbacks, hence Josh Allen, Cam Newton.
Well, no, and that's where I go back to Sunday, and I wanted to give an out to Deshaun Watson about the offensive line. I don't think anybody could have won that game. I truly do not believe that anybody could have won that game on Sunday with how bad your offensive line was. That now ends, okay? What else did we get yesterday? Myles Garrett, he's going to keep playing. Discuss that in a minute. But Teller on IR, Zinter in, and I think there's legit hope that Jack Conklin could play. Now, the problem is, and I want to make sure I have the participation report from yesterday, he did not practice, right? He didn't, Jed Wills didn't, and I don't think DeJuan Jones did either, right? I don't think so. Here you go. DNPs. Conklin, Jerome Ford, great. Miles, Jordan Hicks, Njoku, Pierre Strong, and Jed Wills. So that means DeJuan Jones was limited? Why do I not see him on? He was limited. DeJuan Jones with a knee, limited. Joel Bitonio, forever limited. He was on that way too. You have got to get Jack Conklin out there. Does that solve all your problems? Not necessarily. And at least at this point, thank God they elevated Jermaine Ifedi.
Yes.
And they could sit there. Here's what I would do. If Conklin gets close, you put him out there. Now, you might risk him getting hurt further or again, but at least you've got Ifedi. You still have James Hudson, which is not a great option at this point either. And you hope that DeJuan Jones gets his act together too. That's where you're at in the offensive line. But I'm also then going to look at Watson, Stefanski, and I guess Ken Dorsey and say, you know you're not going to be able to protect him. Find some other way to do it. Now, the thing is, like Kevin Stefanski said, you can't win games that way. You make things really hard on yourself, but at least you're now armed with that information going into Sunday. Max Crosby missed practice yesterday. You know, he's banged up, but you assume, again, he's going to play. This is not some world beater defense. This is not a defense that you really are fearful of a lot of guys hurting. It's Max Crosby, maybe a little Christian Wilkins. That's it.
Yes, very true, but Matt, we said the same exact thing for the Giants.
Yes.
The same exact thing.
But again, you now know what you got to deal with. You know. And that's the thing. Does that help you with anything? Does that information really change a lot? Maybe not. Maybe no. But at least you got it. You got to go to Javon Cohen. Whatever you need to do. But you just know what you're dealing with now. Sunday, you thought when the game started you'd be fine. And then everything went to crap. At least now you know you're starting in the crap. And that's going to be on the wizardry of Kevin Stefanski to get it figured out. But it's like just hearing Watson. Nobody cares if you win the press conference. Nobody cares if you grade out fine in games. They care if you win the games.
But let me get this. You're not shocked that Deshaun Watson was horrible in that press conference, right? He's been horrible ever since he got here.
No, I guess again, press conferences don't really matter. You want to cut right to the bone?
Yeah, please.
I think that's an example of a bigger problem. And the bigger problem is Deshaun Watson is not a part of this team.
No, he's not.
That's the bigger problem that I see kind of formulating here. Is that, again, with all the off-the-field stuff, all of his teammates having to answer these questions over and over and over and over again. I know that they have a different relationship with him as a teammate or maybe even as a friend. But then when we get to this, it seems like he's separated. It seems like he goes up to that press conference when we lost and frankly got our asses kicked, and he's trying to say, I didn't play all that bad. Death sentence. Death sentence for the rest of your teammates. And I'll go back to something that Greg Williams said on Come Get Some. I had a great conversation with Coach Greg yesterday. We got to get him on next week. Remind you that. We'll get Coach on. He said he wants to come on with us. And Greg had the clip where he goes, the guys in between the lines know. They know. In between the lines, they know what's supposed to be happening. They know what it's supposed to be looking like. So when they hear him up there and saying, well, you know, it was a decoy or that, Jordan Akins really knows. Kevin Stefanski really knows. Joe Patone, they all know what it's supposed to be like. And again, me, simpleton Browns fan.
Smooth brain.
What's that?
Smooth brain.
Smooth brain. That's it. Me being a simpleton Browns fan. Do you know what I care about? Winning. I don't give a damn what it looks like. I really don't. Now, would I like it to be Patrick Mahomes and you're throwing here and doing this and doing all that stuff? Absolutely. We ain't there yet. Just win the freaking games. I don't care what it looks like. And I am more concerned that I'm just seeing this gap widen. The divide between, you know, the Venn diagram? You have the three circles?
Yes.
I'm starting to see, here's the Cleveland Browns, here's the fan base, and here goes Deshaun Watson. And he's going to start alienating himself from the fan base and now the organization.
Dude, yeah.
And I'm not trying to sensationalize one press conference where I'm sure he's frustrated and I'm sure he didn't like that. You think he liked getting hit 17 times? You think he liked getting sacked 7 times? No. And it's not like he got up to that press conference and said, boy, does my offensive line suck. He didn't say that. But instead of just biting the bullet and saying we need to be better, he was trying to give excuses. Well, I was a decoy. People don't know football. I only care what Kevin and Ken say. I thought he didn't read the room well. He did not read the room well. He's not reading the situation all that well right now.
Well, Matt, we can go back to when we signed him. He never reads a room well. He wouldn't even admit what he did.
That's different. I got to cut you off on that. I was at those press conferences, okay?
It's different, but it all comes back to he doesn't recognize issues with himself.
No. That football and his personal life have got to be different. Those press conferences early, he was instructed to not say anything. They gave him those lines because those were active cases. That's different.
Fair enough.
That is very different.
Fair enough.
He's not on trial for missing throws in a football game. That is where you can be different. Those ones, he was given lines, and I understand that there's a process that he had to play a part of. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these, when it is football, when it's strictly about plays on the field. Where's the ownership? Where's the ownership of it? And when you start with that, even though you know deep down it's not all your fault, and I've said that all week, it wasn't really Deshaun's fault on Sunday. It wasn't. But I still need him to stand up there and take some. There's a big old piece of crap pie. getting passed around Berea. And everybody's got to walk up, take a big old slice, and throw it on their plate. When that comes in front of Deshaun Watson, better eat up, man.
No, he doesn't want any.
That's exactly the problem. Joe Petonio got a slice. Myles Garrett got a slice. Everybody got a slice of that. I need Deshaun Watson.
That's supposed to be your leader. That's supposed to be your leader.
Maybe I'll learn. I don't know. Run out of time, though.
Maybe I'll grow 6 inches.
That'd be nice. And get in the NBA. Get in the NBA. Again, it's like, whatever. You know, we're all frustrated. This starts with an extreme level of frustration of where we're at with the Cleveland Browns. So, if they can fix it from here, fantastic. We just need to find a way to win Sunday. It's that simple. Find a way. Whatever it needs to be to work for Deshaun Watson, then that's what it's going to have to be. That's it. That's it. So let's do this. I want to break early because we got Q coming up at 10:30. So we're going to run through all our normal stuff. We'll get to Time Hop. We'll do the grid. We got the morning update. So we'll do that early. And again, 10:30. Q Myers, Locked On Raiders, Raiders Nation Radio, ESPN Radio is going to join us. I want to ask about Antonio Pierce. How was that comment received this week? Where are the Raiders at with their quarterback situation? Max Crosby, that's got it all coming up a little bit later with Q. Thursday Night Football tonight.
Yes.
Get over to Barley House. They'll be doing a live version of Come Get Some tonight. Kickoff is at, well, really, we're going to get there at 7, right? Tonight. Thursday Night Football with Greg and Blake Williams. You see the QR code there. You do have to get tickets, right?
I don't know if you do.
Can you just show up to Barley House?
I think you might be able
They're in the one lounge.
Yeah.
Right? Is it the Cigar
like
Lounge?
The Grotto.
The Grotto. Yeah.
It's like the Cigar Lounge.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's like the Cigar Lounge. They're going to be doing a show there tonight. You're looking for somewhere to go watch some football. Head on out. Watch it with Blake and Greg tonight. That's going to be a great spot. It's going to be awesome. So, again, it's going to start at 7. Game doesn't kick off till a little after 8. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they're recording the show from 7 to 8, right?
I don't know.
I know. They're there at 7. Just go there. Check it out. Barley House. You can always just follow us on social media as well. I know Big Play has sent out a couple of things on. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Hang on a second. There's an announcement about our new tailgate show, which is fantastic. Blake and Greg. Well, we got to talk about Sulka. Updated on that. They're talking about Bobby Carpenter's show. Where is it? There was something about it. Anyway, just go check it out on social media. You'll be able to see tonight. Just show up at Barley House. We're there. Folks, download the brand new Big Play app. You can get our 24-hour stream. All of our shows. Our interview with Q will be in there. Check it out. We're also up on Twitter, X, also YouTube, Instagram. It's everywhere that you need it when you need it. All right, let's catch our break. Do it a little bit early. Got Q coming up at 10:30. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
That's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Even though our strength of schedule was number 1 in the NFL, I think we have the dogs up front. We have the dogs in the back. As it relates to our defense alone keeps us in these games. Not even talking about offense. Let's just say Deshaun Watson isn't there. We got dogs on the defensive side that's mirroring the potential of the Ravens from 2001 or 2000 Ravens with Jamal Lewis and the boys and Ray Lewis and those guys.
Right.
They won. Again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but they won without a high-powered offense.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
Let's get to it. Morning update, grid timeout. We got it all rolling through as we head into hour 2 here. And again, 10:30. Don't miss it. Q Myers going to join us, get a little insight to what's going on out there with the Raiders. Brian's got the insight to a lot of other things. Take it away. Morning update.
Alrighty. Well, the Guardians, they sweep out the Cincinnati Reds in their penultimate series of the season. They win 5-2. Jose Ramirez with the go-ahead 3-run blast in the bottom of the 8th. Emmanuel Clase gets the save. He is now the all-time leader for saves in a season for the Guardians. Guardians are off today, but begin the series with the Astros on Friday, and that is, of course, the last series of the season.
The vibes, man. That's it. That's what I want. I want the Guardians playing well. I want them feeling good because you're going to have a break coming up. And I'm not concerned about the break. I think it's going to be great for these guys. But once you got that hunger is going to have to build. And they'll play sim games, and it's a little bit different. But the swag, that's what I'm talking about with this team. Count them out. Count them out. Please do. Because I know we're not going to do that here in this town. And I'm excited. I got our playoff tickets already. We're geared up, ready to go. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be awesome. And the biggest thing that I look at, and I say this too, it's going to be some of these guys. You're telling me Stephen Kwan didn't need that last night, man? You're telling me that Jose playing the way that he's playing, you don't need that? And you're also in a position, these guys are going to play these games. Right? They're going to play these 3 games because you're going to have 5 days off, if not more. Right? No, because they play Sunday. Dude, do you see the Braves got to play a doubleheader on Monday now? Because they were postponement or something like that after the season. But yeah, ew, disgusting, right? But you're going to have a week off. You're going to have almost a week off. Keep the momentum high. Then you talk about the bullpen usage for Vogt, which has been fantastic all year. That guy's recipe. You still need these guys in games, which I was happy that Cade Smith pitched last night. I was happy you had them all, right? Cade Smith pitched. Hunter Gaddis pitched. Tim Herron pitched.
Eli Morgan.
Well, we'll see how Eli does. I mean, I'm assuming he's got a spot on this team. We'll see. But those guys got some work in. That's what I'm going to need from this team. Loved it last night. Keep Jose hot. Good to see Quan get back, too. Get some ABs before the week off. I love it.
Oh, what could have been perhaps the greatest what-if in Cleveland Browns history. Super Bowl champion Josh Gordon is hanging up the cleats, stepping away from football. He announced he's officially retiring. Of course, Gordon in his second season, 1,646 receiving yards, a franchise record, was All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors. Flash Gordon calls it quits.
That Jacksonville game that he had where he was just running away from grown-ass defenders in the NFL. And I tweeted, I know Reflog retweeted it too. And Tony Grossi, I really got that from Tony. He said, if you had a factory and you went in there and you created the ultimate wide receiver, size, speed, strength, hands, route running, Josh Gordon probably would walk out the other side. He had it all. He had it all. Now, did he have demons? Absolutely. And you might start by saying, well, it was just weed, and now weed's legal everywhere. Well, I'm sorry, man. Life's all about timing, and now he, could be playing in the NFL and doing just fine. It's sad because it seemed like he never got or accepted the help that was in front of him. It's easy for you and I to sit there and scream at a guy like that and just go, just stop smoking weed. Just stop. You got all this money. You got your whole career. He tried. He tried very hard. And that is the crippling part of addiction. It is so hard. There are, and I think, it's sad that we live in today's society, Ryan, where to a point, and some closer than others, I think it's almost inevitable that cancer, suicide, and addiction impacts almost everybody at some level, right? At some level. Some very much in front, some more peripheral. But the thing is, there are people you scream at. You're throwing your family away. You're throwing your kids. You're losing your kids. You're losing your spouse. You're losing your job, your friends, your family. And they can't let it go because that's how powerful it is. That's the thing about Josh Gordon that is so sad. Now it's on the forefront because he had all the talent in the world, and he could have been somebody to rewrite record books, and he couldn't stop. Now, again, there were other problems, and he came into the NFL in the drug policy already, with what he did at Baylor, and then he left there and was at Utah before he entered the supplemental draft. All that. It's just, I look at it this way. It seems like he's in a better spot. I'm happy for that. And it's just sad that we never got to really see anything outside of that one season. Got one season incredible. He was, and there are guys that you see in the NFL that do that. It literally is man amongst boys. You get that with Miles sometimes. I think defense players like Watt at some point, JJ and TJ, Aaron Donald. I'm trying to think of an offensive guy.
Calvin Johnson. Maybe Adrian Peterson in that MVP year, where you're like, and quarterbacks are different. Like that's just a little bit, but like where it was truly he was unstoppable. That's how good he was. And again, I hope he's doing well, and I hope him the best at retirement. Love to have him on. Do something with Josh. I'd love to have him on the show. Well, speaking of retirement, former MVP Derrick Rose is also calling it quits from basketball after a 16-year career. Quote, knowing that I gave all to the game, I feel confident in my decision. Basketball was just the beginning for me. Now it's important that I give my all to my family. They deserve that. Rose, of course, announced his decision to retire Thursday morning. Matt, he also took out 6 full-page ads for all the cities he played in. That, of course, is Chicago, New York, Minneapolis, Detroit, Memphis, and his stint here in Cleveland.
Somebody said that about that MVP year of like he was unstoppable. Like that's how good Derrick Rose was at a point. And then it's just unfortunately like a lot of athletes, the injuries caught up to him. Great player. Do you think he's going to go to the Hall of Fame?
No.
I think he will. No, I think he will. You gotta remember,
MVP?
Basketball is different.
Oh yeah, it's easiest Hall of Fame.
He's a rookie of the year
youngest
and an MVP.
Youngest in history too.
Right. MVP. Only a 3-time All-Star, which is a little crazy. And he was the Rookie of the Year. So, as the first overall pick. So, I think so. But, again, injuries kind of caught up to him. I thought that was a really class act by him. I didn't spend time around him when he was in Cleveland, but the people that I know that did said he was a fantastic person.
I truly believe if Derrick Rose stayed healthy his whole career, he would legit have been maybe the best point guard in NBA history.
I think that's possible.
He was the most explosive player I've ever seen.
Right. And also at a guy like he was taller than you really thought he was. Like he played a little bigger than he was.
Like you look at a guy like Ja Morant, for instance.
Yeah.
He was like Ja Morant on steroids.
Well, yeah, he's Ja Morant taller. Ja's not, how tall is Ja Morant? I'm selling Ja Morant short.
6'3", bro. I don't know, 6'3".
He's 6'2", so I guess I'm not that far. Derrick Rose is 6'3". But yeah, man, he was so good, and I wish him the best in retirement. They sent that picture out of his son when they threw the first pitch out and that kind of stuff. That gets me, man. So I wish him the best in retirement.
All righty, Matt.
Welcome Derrick Rose to the show. I'd love to have him on. Big play. Put a lot on Ryan this morning.
Hey, I can do it all. Lastly for the morning update. Well, Matt, I don't know the exact update. You alerted me this morning, but of course the story developing with Matthew Sluka. He's the UNLV starting quarterback who decided to transfer. Well, not transfer yet, but he's calling it quits due to some NIL disputes.
So I went off on his family yesterday because the story made it sound like he had a deal with UNLV. He played well, went back and asked for more money. And I said his family were a bunch of jackasses for that. I guess I have to rescind some of that because it sounds like this is on UNLV. So as far as the reporting goes, which again, you're getting things from his side of the family, his agent, and then UNLV. Here's where we sit with him. It sounds like He left Holy Cross, and he transferred to UNLV, where an assistant coach allegedly promised him $100,000 to transfer to UNLV. He did. He did not get that in writing, and now UNLV says, what money? They go, that's the coach. That was not the NIL collective. This is a microcosm of the issues that NIL is having. Let's call it for what it is. These are now contractual players. I know the NCAA doesn't want to do that because, Ryan, when you sign a contract to play a sport for money, what are you no longer? An amateur. That's what the NCAA is supposed to be. So you get this divide of the coach promised you, but you never talked to the NIL people. Then his agent never got that in writing, and apparently his agent is not even licensed to be an agent in the state of Nevada. Scummy and jackass on UNLV, egg on the face of this family. You're at fault in this too. Don't ever, Ryan.
Yes.
Don't ever.
I'm listening.
Believe it until it's in writing. You need it in an email. You need it signed piece of paper. Don't ever operate as something is a fact until it's in writing. Because until it is, it ain't worth nothing. It's not worth nothing. So they screwed up by doing this.
Whatever happened to the integrity of a man's word?
That holds up nothing in court. Handshake deals don't usually work. Because then it's he said, she said. You get it on a piece of paper, that is undeniable. So there's a mess up on his family's part, and UNLV looks bad at this too. Because you got, okay, so here's the other problem, right? Going back to the NCAA's issue and all this. Who are the people handing out NIL? Right? Is it the collective or is it the coaches? And what I think needs to happen, and a lot of teams are doing this, hire your Adrian Wojnarowski for St. Bonaventure. Hire your person. This is the general manager. They are the ones that are going to sit there and offer you these deals. So when they go on recruiting trips, Ryan Day, whoever that person might be, they sit down. Hey, man, I'd like to talk to you about playing football. What about my NIL? Talk to this guy. He's right here. Or this woman. They're here with us. They're the ones that handle that. They will deal with your NIL. So Solka and his family learned a hard mistake. You don't believe anything until it's in writing. Okay? And they didn't get that from the UNLV. That sounds like where we're at. And would I tell him then he has a right to leave? Sure, I would too. You said this was what it was, but also when he wasn't getting his payments when he enrolled, don't you raise a red flag and go, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I guess it is early in the season to understand what this is going on. Don't also forget there's a little fishy that we were coming up to the red shirt deadline. You know, there's only a certain time and certain amount of games that you can play before you redshirt, and he was getting to that. So now all of a sudden he's stepping in. Then you got a running back. Their fourth leading rusher or something like that came out with the same story. They promised me this. They didn't give it to me. I'm going to leave. There should be ramifications for UNLV. There needs to be an NCAA investigation into this.
I believe the running back came out on Twitter and said it wasn't anything with NIL. It was playing opportunity.
Okay. All right. Well, again, people transfer for that all the time too. You said I was going to start. I'm not. I'm going to leave. But the thing is, with the NIL part of it, there needs to be an investigation into that of who fumbled this. Did the Sulkas just believe and were naive, or did UNLV mislead them? You can get sued for misleading people. You can do that. Sue them. Try to get their money. But it's like I take back some of the things that I said because I was operating, and what we were told was this family was just money hungry, and this guy was playing well, and they wanted more money. Well, now it comes out, no, he just wanted the money he was promised. I'll never begrudge somebody getting the money that they were promised. But the thing is, it was just promised. It was not written. It was not on a contract. That ain't going to hold up in court. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm assuming UNLV's got some good lawyers to get after that. All right, speaking of getting after it, big day for us, Ryan. Thursday, grid. Let's go. All right. I have had yet another flip, if you will, on what our prize should be.
Okay.
I got it. So basically, I have a lot of prizes to do. Let's get today and tomorrow. Okay. Again, we've gotten 3 days straight of the grid. We still have our Wordle out if needed.
Very true.
Don't want to use it today, but let's get through it. We do.
I mean, if we get through today without having to use the Wordle, is it not a lock? Like, are we really gonna mess up Wordle again?
I hope not.
Knock on wood.
What was it? Was it money or honey?
It was like credit. No, it was like debit. It was debit.
No, debit was the last one we screwed up. There was another one that we screwed up where like the last letter changed or something.
Wasn't
like
that it?
Oh, maybe that was it. Or yeah, maybe it was. Was that it?
Something along
Something like that. We're wasting. Anyway, get it today, get it tomorrow. We got a prize going out to the great fans of our show, which we appreciate. 9 minutes, you know how the grid goes. Fill it in, go.
Oh, no, you know what it was?
What?
It was money, but the right answer was honey.
That's what I said, money or honey. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, it was something like that. It was either money or honey. We screwed it up. All right, here we go. 10-plus sacks in a season.
DeMarcus Lawrence?
Or Micah Parsons.
True. I guess we'll just go Micah. Patriots.
I would assume Chandler Jones, right?
He had to have.
Right? Kyle Van Noy
has to be Chandler Jones.
Right? Christian Barmore might actually be a little sneaky one there, but that's fine. Go Chandler Jones.
I think I said Chandler Parsons.
Chandler Parsons. That's fine.
We could do.
I don't have a good one off the rip.
Did Bryce Huff have it last year?
Oh yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he got paid a bag.
Had to have, right? I mean, can we? And I know there's got to be some legacy.
No, I mean, Quinn and Williams had to have done it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah.
Cuba, right? I mean,
sure.
Tackle,
I can't come up with anything better. Okay. All right.
Cue ball.
Okay. Cue ball.
Did you see that one interview? He was like, he sneezed and said "bless you" to himself.
Did he?
He went, "Bless you, thank you." You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see.
This was like pre-draft process.
That's awesome. All right, next up. All right, so here we go. Giants. Mike Glennon. Does he fit for any of those ones going down? Don't think so.
Is Brandon Marshall? Did he play for the Jets and Giants? Or am I making that up?
Oh, Jets, Giants.
Am I making that up?
No, I think you're right. Right? All right, hold off on that because we can come up to another one. All right, Fitzpatrick, Jets, Bills. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jets, Bills, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Sorry, my brain was lagging.
Oh, no, you're fine. This is hard because like our brain's on 6 different squares. You start kind of
Bills,
going down.
Patriots, Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, wait. He also works Bills and the Cowboys.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Did Frank Gore play for the Cowboys?
No. All right, move back off Stephon Gilmore. I need to see like the. Yeah, thank you. All right, because I was also going to say Bills Patriots. It's not Jacoby Brissett. Tyrod Taylor never played in New England.
Mm-mm.
But oh my God, why do I? There's another Bills Patriots. I know there is. Son of a gun. Oh my God. It's just like.
What position are you thinking?
I want to say wide receiver, but I don't know. Because I think there's a quarterback that's still just like gnawing at me there.
EJ Manuel?
It's not. Oh, Patriots. Giants, is that Brian Hoyer?
Did he play for the Giants?
I think I might be getting him and Colt McCoy confused.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
But just remember Brian Hoyer for that one if we need one.
Okay.
All right, Bills, Cowboys.
Wait, who? Stephon Gilmore.
We have Stephon Gilmore. He works for either one. So if we can come up with somebody on either one, then it'll work. I
mean, Bills quarterbacks. Andy Dalton never played for the Bills.
Mitch Trubisky. Oh, God. Drew Bledsoe.
For which one?
Bills, Patriots. I knew it.
That's Drew Bledsoe? For sure.
Yeah. Such a dumbass. And now Stephon Gilmore. I knew it. What did I say? I was like, there's something just screaming at me. I knew it was a quarterback. Drew Bledsoe is the answer. All right.
All right, where do you want to start?
Okay. I mean, we should just rip Giants players. Okay.
Did Victor Cruz go anywhere else? Mario Manningham?
Jeremy Shockey?
You love Jeremy Shockey.
I do. But I don't think he ever played at any of those other spots. I want to picture him in a Jets uniform, but I can't. Oh. Did we screw that up? We could have used Quinnen Williams for the Jets and the Giants, couldn't we?
No.
Oh, no. That was Leonard, the other D tackle that they had. Not Leonard Floyd. He went to Seattle.
Darius Leonard?
No. I think his first name was Leonard. Oh, my God. He's got the hair. He's a D tackle. He ran with Quinnen Williams. Holy God. Oh, my God.
Not Leonard Floyd?
No. I think it's Leonard Williams. Is it not? There was a guy that went Jets.
Did Brandon Marshall not play for the Jets? Or am I making that up?
No, he played for the Jets. 100%.
And did he not play for the Giants?
I think he played for the Giants.
I think he did.
All right, go Brandon Marshall. But don't let me forget.
Or did he? He played for the Bears, right?
I know he played for the Bears. He's got more teams than you think.
So is he 06 to 18 or 12 to 18? Gotta be 06.
Rip it.
Should I rip it?
Rip it. Okay, that works. And then that gets me off. There was a guy, there was a D tackle that went Jets, Giants, and then he went out.
I think it is Leonard Williams. That's the name.
I think it is Leonard Williams. But all right, that aside. Okay. Giants, Patriots, again, reeks of a quarterback.
Yeah, it does. Not Jacoby.
Not Garoppolo. I don't think Vinny Testaverde.
That's funny.
I don't think so. Edelman, no. Gronk, no. Oh.
What about running back?
Oh. You're not going to be able to help on this one, I don't think.
What?
Joe Andruzzi. So he was a guard. He came here, and then I think he went to the Giants, but I don't. No.
What about a McCourty?
No. Sean O'Hara. See, I can't remember.
I have no idea who that is.
Offensive lineman. He was here, Cleveland. I know he went to the Giants, but I can't remember if he played for the Patriots. You're thinking Jason McCourty, right? I think Devin McCourty spent most of his career in New England. I could be wrong on that. Oh, my God. Is it not Jabril Peppers? It's Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, it is Jabril Peppers.
100%.
Good pull.
And that's, just got to work through that.
All right, let's finish this.
All right, finish it out. We got time. Okay.
DeMarco Murray, no. Running backs. Devin Singletary, no.
Brandon Cooks, no.
Matt Breida, I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Oh.
What?
Chris Carter. I mean, not Chris Canty.
Okay. I believe it.
My time listening to Unsportsmanlike pays off.
Shout out to them.
He's got to be 05 to 15, right? Or is he 9? Yeah. Yes.
Nice! Let's go!
Shout out Unsportsmanlike.
Scroll on down. I want to see some of those other names.
Jason Garrett.
Geno Smith.
Jason
Cole
Garrett?
Beasley. Yeah, Cole Beasley would have been a good pull.
Yeah, Matt Judon. That was one I was going to say.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We did a pretty good job of not doing a lot of favorites in that, too. Well done. All right. You want to do time hop quick before we get to Q's? I got a lot of movies for you to get to, so let's do that. So we'll jump right into time hop. Let's go. By the way, it was Leonard Williams, 1,000% Jets, Giants, then to the Seahawks. That's exactly what I was thinking of, but we got it done. Let's go. All right, let's head back in time. Tell you a little bit on time hop here, including one of the best individual defensive performances I've ever seen in my life. 2021 Browns-Bears, 4.5 sacks for Myles Garrett on Justin Fields. Browns had 9 and beat the Bears 26-6. An insane effort. And an absolutely insane effort from Myles Garrett to have 4.5 sacks in one game. That was this day, 2021. You know, we talked about D. Rose and former Cavaliers of the past. This day, 2017, a report that Dwayne Wade would be signing with the Cavs. Made it a half a season, went back to Miami, didn't like it here.
Why'd he leave?
That's one story I can't help. You know, I thought about that a lot.
I'm sorry.
I thought about that a lot. Like,
I had to, man.
You know, I enjoy what I do. I hope to be doing this the next 30 years of my life. But if not, I eventually, you know, maybe find a 9 to 5, and you could just check me every Thursday night on Twitch, and I'll just tell you every story.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you every story I got. I'll play a little COD, you know, because I'd like to stay in the game, but like, you'll just find me one day on Twitch, and I'll just tell you every story I got. And that's maybe one that I'll tell you not right now. This day, 2014, the Indians set an MLB record for strikeouts in a season when they finished with 1,000, or they set the record at 1,429 for the pitching staff, breaking Detroit's record. They would finish with an even 1,450, which is a record that still stands today. Here's your trivia.
Okay.
Would you care guess? Again, 2014. The Indians set a record for the most strikeouts by a pitching staff. Would you dare guess the guys on the pitching staff that had the most strikeouts? Who led us with this?
2014.
Correct.
Corey Kluber.
Corey Kluber had 269.
Trevor Bauer
had 143.
Was Clevenger on the team?
No, he was not here yet.
Was it Josh Tomlin?
Josh Tomlin had 94.
Was it Danny Salazar?
Had 120.
And I'm missing one.
Well, you'll never get these other two guys, I don't think.
You don't think I'll ever get them? The starters?
There was one other starter.
Zach McAllister.
No, McAllister was in the... Well, okay. Yes, he started 15 games. But there was a guy that started 19 games and had 93. But I think, if memory serves, he got hurt. He was a former opening day pitcher of ours.
Really?
Yes. Big guy. He went 4-6 that year with a 5 ERA, but he had 93 strikeouts.
Big guy?
Big guy. Huge guy.
Like fat?
Kind of, yeah. A little bit. Number 63.
Jabba?
Justin Masterson.
Oh, I didn't know he was still on the team.
Yeah, he's still there. I think he got her. Then, do you remember TJ House?
Justin Masterson wasn't fat.
He had wide hips, man. I'll put it that way. He's a big guy. He was a big guy.
He was skinny.
No.
What?
Yeah, go pull up Justin Masterson, man. He had some hips on him. Hips don't lie, baby.
Pause.
Oh, yeah. TJ House had 80. Cody Allen, 91. Brian Shaw, Scott Atchison, Mark Zepchinski, and John Axford. Carlos Carrasco had 140 in 14 starts, 40 games overall. Zach McAllister, Kyle Crockett, Josh Outman, Nick Hagedorn, Vinny Pistano, Austin Adams, all guys that got strikeouts in 2014 to help lead us to that MLB record. This day, 2013, Bud Selig announced that he would step down as commissioner after the 2014 season. I don't like his replacement.
I'm aware.
But here we are. This day, 1993, it was the Indians' final game ever at Municipal Stadium. They beat the Brewers 6-4. Did you see the Oakland Stadium? They were tearing out seats.
They're pouring dirt and water bottles.
Pouring dirt and water bottles. That was all kind of stuff there. This day, 1977, the Browns played their first ever overtime game, and we beat the Patriots 30-27. First ever presidential debate was shown on television this day, 1960. Which two presidents
1960,
debated?
Okay, was that a little bit that was before JFK.
But again, they both eventually became presidents.
So JFK wasn't one?
JFK was one.
So he was obviously a Democrat, right?
Yes.
The Republican was that Ronald Reagan?
No.
And this guy became president?
Yes. Very
Lyndon B took over after
June. And then this guy came back around. I think. Came back around.
Ford?
No. This guy goes down in history for something very bad that he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter?
No.
Who am I missing?
Wait.
Are you tripping?
Maybe.
I think you're tripping.
No, yeah, he was... Okay, he was the only one to ever resign. That's where I was right. It was Nixon.
That's what I said.
Did you say Nixon? I wasn't paying attention.
Or did I say Reagan?
You said Reagan.
Oh, I meant
Richard Nixon.
I
meant
meant
Richard
yes,
Nixon.
I meant Nixon.
So this day, 1960, JFK v. Richard Nixon in the first ever presidential debate. There you go. We'll go all the way back to 1580. Sir Francis Drake returns to Plymouth Harbor, England, after completing the first ever circumnavigation of the world.
Shout out Uncharted.
It took 3 years. He left with 5 boats and 153 men. He only returned with 50. 1 boat sank. 3 left. I'm sorry. He only returned with 53 men and 1 boat. So left with 5 boats and 153 men. Lost 100 men. 1 boat. 3 sank and 1 left home early. 1 left to go home early.
So play Uncharted?
No, but good game. I know. Amazing. It's very good. Yes. Very happy birthday goes out to TJ Houshmandzadeh, Serena Williams, Dequel Jackson, Linda Hamilton, and T.S. Eliot, all celebrating birthdays today. All right, I got 5 for you if we do a quick before Q.
Rip 'em.
Number 1, 2001 horror movie about a scary guy that drives a van.
Michael Myers.
No.
Boogeyman.
No.
Candyman.
Nope.
Creepers Jeepers.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. Close enough. Yeah, close enough. All right, next up, television show. These are all TV shows on the way out.
Okay.
This day, 1982, also very related to a car. A shadowy man that uses a very smart car to go out there and help do-gooders.
Batman.
No. I don't know if you might get this one. I don't know if you know this show.
Car?
Oh, I've loved the intro to this show is unmatched.
This is a superhero?
It wasn't a superhero, but the show was all built around the car. The show was all built around this car.
No idea.
David Hasselhoff. Have you ever heard of Knight Rider?
Nah.
What?
Nope.
KITT was the car.
Nope.
KITT. It was a Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The whole idea was the car was smart. The car knew what to do. It could drive itself. It could do this, and he'd go out there and save a bunch of people. The Knight Industries 2000. KITT with Knight Rider. All right, this date, 1969. You guessed this when I said a blended family with one of the other ones. This is the real answer.
Brady Bunch?
Brady Bunch, 1969. 1964.
Okay.
It all started with what they thought was just a 2-hour tour. Or a 3-hour tour.
What?
It just started with a 3-hour tour.
Don't make that face like I should know.
You
this.
should know this one. This one should be an easy one. A 3-hour tour.
What the hell is that? A 3-hour tour. Is that supposed to mean something to me?
It's the part of the intro to the show.
Nope.
There was a first mate.
Gilligan's Island?
That is correct.
Oh, okay.
It all started with a 3-hour tour, Ryan. That's how it started. 3-hour tour. All right, final one. This day, 1962. This is about a family who strikes it rich with some oil. And they make a big move. Nothing?
No.
What? We got Q coming up. Beverly Hillbillies.
See, why would I know that?
Why would you not know the Beverly Hillbillies?
Because I'm not 400 years old.
It doesn't matter. These are like popular shows, like in the lexicon of Knight Rider is one that I just that one I thought you'd get. You never even heard of Knight Rider.
No.
That is a little shocking to me.
I don't think it's shocking.
Well, I'll tell you what. We got Q. Maybe I'll ask him.
Yeah, he's here.
He's Q. Q Myers. He's the best. ESPN, you hear him every night, game night, Monday through Friday. Locked On Raiders, Raider Nation Radio. Q, before we talk any football, Ryan is my producer. He's a younger guy. Should he not know what Knight Rider is?
Oh, yeah. No, that's a classic, man. Knight Rider, Gilligan's Island, Beverly Hillbillies. He should have known all of those, man. I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here in backstage, and I'm like, Gilligan's Island. It's Gilligan's Island. Come on, it's a 3-hour tour. What are we doing?
I love doing it because there's people in the YouTube chat or Twitter, and they just scream. They're screaming like, how do you not know that one? How do you not know?
Yes.
It's the best thing. I love Ryan. He is a youngster, but I just thought some of those would eventually like work its way into the lexicon of knowing the 3-hour tour. I didn't want to lay it up either and say, the Professor and Marianne.
That wouldn't have laid it up. I promise you that.
That's what I don't get. Like, especially just like even
that's
being
a half-court shot.
A kid homesick from school, and you're just flipping through the channels and Gilligan's Island comes on and Knight Rider and Beverly Hillbillies. Like, it's just Q. It's not the only one, bro. I'll tell you, it's not the only one, but we love it. Q Myers here. We got to learn a little bit about the Raiders. Q, I wanted to start, man, with the Antonio Pierce comments this week because I'm a fan of Pierce. I wanted him to get that job. I think he deserved it. And I just love the dynamic as a former player. But when he drops the guys were making business decisions and we might make some business decisions, how do you think that was felt from the team this week? And do you think that there might be any negative harboring towards Pierce after that?
I think the players were on a 3-hour tour, right? I think they were on a 3-hour tour last week against the Carolina Panthers. I think that's what Antonio Pierce was trying to say. They came off this big win against the Baltimore Ravens. They had a lot of momentum. They pounded their chest all week talking about nobody respected them. Nobody in the national media gave them, a chance to win the game, and they kept receipts. And they had an opportunity to go build off of that and show that, that wasn't a one-off, but they had an opportunity to really show who they could be. And then they laid an egg in their season home opener. And I'll tell you, man, from sitting in the press box, it wasn't just that they lost the game. There was just no energy. There was no excitement. There was no juice. And so when Antonio Pierce says guys were making business decisions, it's like, they decided that they, thought they were going to just walk into the stadium and get a W. And when it didn't work that way, they didn't fight. They didn't scratch. They didn't claw. They didn't give everything they had. And, Max Crosby's a little banged up. So he's the guy who always provides all the juice and the energy. And so nobody really stepped up and said, hey, man, our leader's a little bit down. Let's have his back and let's back him up. They didn't do that. And, so I think that they were probably embarrassed more than anything, especially when they went back and looked at the film. They had a players only meeting on Monday, like a long 3-hour player only meeting. The coaches had a very long meeting to the point where AP's media press conference got pushed back over an hour because they were still in these meetings. So I think there was a lot of embarrassment to go around it. And honestly, I would be shocked if they didn't come out flying on all cylinders come Sunday.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Q. That's a great nugget for us here in Cleveland to say, like, it sounds like it was received well. And that's one of the things, this can pivot and this could turn a team right back into going out there, ticked off, playing hard. So we're going to get, you say, and it sounds like it's going to be a very focused Raiders team this weekend.
Yeah, it should be, right? I mean, again, like that was just unacceptable. And the funny thing is, a lot of people said, well, AP should have said that behind closed doors. He shouldn't have said that to the media. AP says that everything. He says everything. He's very blunt and honest, and that's part of what everyone loved about him. That's part of the reason why he got the job. Like you said, I was rooting for him to get the job as well. Thought he was the right guy for the job. And part of it was the fact that he's not giving you coach speak. He's not dancing around the questions. He's telling you what it is. Like he told us on Monday, well, what did you see, AP? He's like, we got our ass kicked. Like, I mean, he just said it straight up. Like that is what happened, and that's not okay. And then he doubled down and said, look, I'm not going to bite my tongue. And so for every reason that you loved him, you've got to love him for being brutally honest when it's due as well. So I could appreciate that. And I know if someone was calling me out and if I was in that locker room and I had any kind of thought that maybe I didn't give my 100% effort and I know my head coach is calling me out, I'm going to respond accordingly.
To the quarterback situation, it sounded like it was close between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew in preseason. They go with Minshew. Q, could this be his last start? Are they looking to make that move? And just overall, where do you think the Raiders are at with their quarterback? Do you think they're potentially going to be a team that's going to take one high in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they have their franchise quarterback on the roster right now. I mean, I just don't. We all know who Gardner Minshew is, and he's a guy that's won games in the league, so that's cool. And Aiden O'Connell is a former 4th-round pick, and he's got some upside to him, but I don't know how much. And look, I was in training camp every day with them, all 17 days. They were in Costa Mesa, California. No quarterback just took charge and said, this is my job. And that's what Antonio Pierce kept wanting. He also wanted the team to get off to a hot start in the first quarter of the season. And obviously that didn't happen either, as they're sitting there at 1-2, hoping to square that up at 2 upcoming on Sunday. But of course, Cleveland's got a little something to say about that as well. So yeah, I just think that, that they're probably both going to end up playing this year. I would be shocked if Gardner Minshew ends up going start to finish as a starting quarterback. There was a little bit of conversation, or Antonio Pierce was a little hesitant to commit to Gardner on Monday, but then came back and said, hey, he's our guy. So I don't know how long he's going to have the starting job. I'll tell you, the loss on Sunday to the Panthers wasn't a Gardner Minshew issue. It was an offensive line issue. It was a defense issue. It was a team issue. It was coaching staff issue. It was just one big issue. It was the 3-hour tour that went wrong. Put it like that.
I just pictures the Browns are in the same way. Stefanski and Antonio Pierce like standing on the beach, and then Marianne and like Devontae Adams, right. And there's Myles Garrett just hanging out as well. Because Q, it's a lot of the same. And I know you and I talked about this yesterday. The Browns and the Raiders, they're kind of parallel, right? Our offensive line got smoked on Sunday. We're fighting through some injuries. Maybe, we have different types of quarterback issues, but it's crazy to see the parallels between the Raiders and the Browns right now for this game.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the Raiders are struggling to run the ball. That's something that Antonio Pierce wants to do, is make sure that they're a smash mouth team. And right now they're averaging, probably 30, 35 yards a game. I mean, they're the worst running game in the league. I mean, they just can't get anything going. The offensive line is still trying to find its way, come together, and they're not injured, but there's a lot of new, and they're still trying to find their way. Offensively, they're trying to find a rhythm. And that's probably the biggest issue, is that they haven't had those long sustained drives where you can say, okay, that's what the offense is supposed to look like. They had one drive last week that was 97 yards, and I thought, wow, okay, that's what it's going to look like. That's what they're trying to do. And then that was the last one, right? And then there was nothing else. So it was a lot of 3 and outs. There was a lot of pick up a first down. Then all of a sudden, three straight run plays, and it's, you got your punt unit back on the field. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason right now. So Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, is trying to figure that out. But obviously it's a collective. They've got plenty of talent, as you know. I mean, the weapons are there. It's just, can they get them going and get them all on the same page? And that hasn't happened yet.
Q Myers, of course, ESPN Game Nut, but also all over Raider Nation Radio, ESPN Las Vegas, Locked On Raiders, joining us here on Big Play. Q, one of those playmakers is Devontae Adams, and I feel like even before this season, everybody goes, he'll just make his way to New York eventually and go play with Rodgers, and even the quarterback situation. But I appreciate Devontae, because it sounds like every time he comes out, he goes, I want to be here. I am here. He's paid to be there. But it's got to be a tough go. What have you seen out of him through the first couple of games? And if you had to place a bet on it, do you think he is a Raider by the end of the year?
Yeah, he's a pro's pro, man. That's the thing about it. And Devontae is very smart with what he says and the way he says it. He's very calculated. I mean, he's been there, done that. I do expect him to be on the roster. I don't think he's going to get traded anytime soon. It's funny. He's always asked about it, and he talked about it the other day where he was saying, it's getting annoying. But as long as the Raiders lose games, the speculation is going to be there, right? Yeah. And you just can't blame them, because look, at the end of the day, if they get towards the trade deadline, which is November 5th, and they've only won won 2 or 3 games, why would you hold on to him? And you've got to look at your contract as well, or his contract as well, where the next couple of years he's supposed to make $36 million a year as a base salary, and then $37 million, and that's obviously not realistic, and he has no guaranteed money. So clearly he's not going to play on that contract. But if you're a team that's only won 3 games and you have that big, large contract, and you need a quarterback and you need some positioning in the draft, you would start to think about that. Plus, Devontae is a guy who, at the other end, other side of 30, definitely wants to have an opportunity to win games. And so I could see it happen in that situation, but I do think the Raiders are going to win enough games to still keep things interesting, right? And still kind of be in the mix, especially with the way the AFC looks right now. I mean, who knows? A team that only wins 9 games might end up in the playoffs this year for the way that things are shaking out. So I think that he's definitely going to be there as long as the Raiders do their part. And he's very happy being in Vegas because his family is close and they can see him play all the time, where when he was in Green Bay, that wasn't the case. So he was really happy to get back to the West Coast.
To the defense, Max Crosby banged up a little bit. Q, how much do you think he'll be hampered maybe for Sunday? And then the rest of that defense, which a little bit better maybe on stopping the pass, rushing defense has been tough. What about that Raiders D, and how much do you think Max is going to be able to play Sunday?
Yeah, I think Max is definitely going to go, and he's going to give it everything he has because that's who Max Crosby is. But, I mean, he's got a high ankle sprain, and you know how that goes. I mean, it's just you're not going to get to bed by 10 o'clock, and all of a sudden it's going to feel better when you wake up. That's just not reality. I mean, and he gives everything he's got. So he'll probably be around 85%, I would think, which is still a lot better than a lot of guys. Just like, on the other end, Myles Garrett, right?
Yeah.
He could be banged up, but he's still better than most, right? Yeah. So that's what Max Crosby's going to do. Christian Wilkins, he's a stud that they brought in free agency. Oh, he's a really good defensive tackle, so like what they've done there. But the problem is, like you said, they haven't been able to stop the run. In preseason, we thought, okay, it's just a preseason, not a big deal. They're not really scheming anything up, so it'll be fine. But all of a sudden, you start looking up, especially the Carolina Panthers last week that goes over 100 yards. You're thinking, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, this ain't supposed to happen. And so now that's a big concern of mine. If you can't stop the run, it doesn't matter if you can get to the quarterback or not. They're not going to need it. They're going to just hand the ball off and let it rip. So I'm interested to see what it looks like this week, especially since that's how the Browns used to really butter their bread, is by the ground game. And that's not what it's been like. So do they go back to it? If they see the Raiders can't stop it, that's one of the chess pieces that I'm looking at this week.
And then Watson comes out and he goes, I don't want to run. They ask him, like, maybe you should start running. He goes, I don't really want to run. Final football thing for you, Q. Raiders win this game, how? What would be the one thing that you really think they would have to do on Sunday to get that win against the Browns?
Well, they've got to create a couple turnovers. That's going to be the first and foremost. Like, they've got to get some turnovers, just to try to give their offense a shorter field and give them an opportunity to get into the end zone. And then they've got to find a rhythm on offense. I kind of described it before as, the drunk person at the wedding, where they're just out on the dance floor and they're dancing to everything, right? And hey, hats off to them because they look like they're having fun. But it doesn't really look good. It's just like, man, that person's having a great time. But, man, wait till they review the film. It's going to look bad. Got to find a rhythm, man. They got to have some kind of rhythm. So that's kind of what the Raiders offense is. It's just the drunk person at the wedding having a great time, but it doesn't look too good. So they've got to find a rhythm. They got to make themselves look good offensively and get on the same page. Get the playmakers going, and a little bit of the run game's got to be established as well.
Ryan's got a question. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, Q, I got to ask you, obviously come Sunday, I'm going to be watching Devontae Adams, but outside of that, I'm interested to see Brock Bowers, right? Yeah. I mean, we've come into this new generation of tight ends, Sam Laporta last year, Dalton Kincaid, Brock Bowers, obviously one of the highest touted tight ends ever coming out of a draft. And, just through 3 games I'm seeing here, he's tied with Devontae Adams in receptions, second in yards on the Raiders. Just how good is Brock Bowers?
Oh, he's fantastic, man. He's as advertised. I mean, he really is. And it's so funny because he's not a dude that's going to talk about anything. He's just football, family, right? I mean, he's very short when it comes to words. When we're in the locker room with him, hardly has anything to say. But, man, he does all his talking on the field. He lets it rip. And this is a guy that he's a mismatch nightmare, right? I mean, if you line him up and have a linebacker trying to match up with him, he's too fast for him. If you have a corner on him, he's too strong for him, right? So it's like pick your poison. So the dude, and he's one of the guys that needs to get into that rhythm. Gardner Minshew, Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, they all need to get on the same page and have a rhythm because he is such a weapon. And you saw him in the back end of that game against the Baltimore Ravens. If it's not for his efforts and Devontae's efforts, they don't win that game. So he just gave a small sample size of what he could be. But, yeah, he is a mismatch nightmare, and everyone in that Raider organization is super happy to have him in the building.
The great Q Myers, always appreciate you, man. Final thing, we have a lot of Browns fans heading out. One of my good friends got on a flight last night. Q, you spent a lot of time in Vegas. give me the tip. Whether it's one, a couple, it's stay away from here, go here. Like if somebody's coming from Cleveland, give me your best Vegas tip for them if they're going to enjoy their weekend.
Oh man, well, I mean, that's tough. There's so much to do, right? To just make it to the game on Sunday, right? Just make sure that you actually make it to the game if you're coming to Vegas. Not that you have to, because there's so many different places that you can watch it. I would say enjoy a great steakhouse.
Yeah.
There's plenty of great steakhouses. I'm a bone-in ribeye type guy, so I always shout out my favorite place, Joe's. It's in the Caesars Forum, so tell them to go to Joe's. Tell them to get the Q special, which is the bone-in ribeye.
Love it, Q. Keep E in line this weekend because I know they got a big crew going out there as well. Enjoy the game, man. Always appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Absolutely appreciate you. Get on that Knight Rider and that Gilligan's Island, man.
You gotta watch the Q. Tell him that the Knight Rider intro is one of the best intros out of the 80s. It was so good.
Yes, exactly. And hey, look, Marianne, that's all I'm gonna say.
That the smart people watch that show, Q, know that Marianne over Ginger all day. All day. That's how it goes. He is a great Q Myers. Catch him on game night tonight. I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, my man.
There he goes, Q Myers. I love Q, man. He's the best. I love doing shows with him. He does the show with him every night, and obviously they're going out this weekend, but Q's all over the place, bro. So he does Raider Nation Radio. He's also on ESPN Vegas. He's got game night. He does Locked On the Raiders late. And I told him, and that's why he's so gracious, man. I texted him. I was like, hey, dude, you already got full days, man. You got everything. Do you have somebody that, we could talk Raiders with? And then he texted me. I goes, nah, man, I'll do it. And it's, 7:45 in the morning out there. And I was like, you work all night. So I can't tell you, man, how great. I appreciate you so much. So there you go. And dude, so Pat, big listener to the show, he left last night. And I go, what are you going to do in Vegas for 4 days? You're going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then get to the game on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a.
And I was joking with him. I go, to Q's point, I go, you ain't going to make it, man. You got 3 full days. And I said, here's what you got to do. You got to spend Thursday, Friday doing all your activities. I feel like you'd have to recover Saturday to get to the game Sunday and then fly back home.
Yeah.
But I know, dude, there's thousands of Browns fans that I know are going out to Vegas for this game coming up this weekend, which, again, we were talking about, that's the whole point of having the team in Vegas, and it was only a matter of time and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a big weekend. And the thing, and I talked to Q on his show yesterday about this matchup, and I got to tell you, Ryan, same thing, just how, similar the Raiders and the Browns are right now of – they're not running the football. They let Josh Jacobs go. Zamir White didn't really do it, but their offensive line isn't good. They're banged up. Their quarterback problems are different than ours, but they're still there. Their premier pass rusher is battling injuries. It's creepy about how close it is for the Raiders. And I do think a flip for me is that Antonio Pierce stuff, because that's why I want to start there with Q. I didn't know if that was going to be received well, or if it was going to be something that they borderline revolt. Sounds like it was received well. You're going to be playing a pretty pissed off team at home on Sunday. I still think the Browns are going to win, but I am in nowhere near that confident that I was for the Giants game. We know how that played out. Maybe this is a good thing. Dude, I'm on high alert here for the Raiders. I really am.
I'm saying, dude, I'm telling you, any given Sunday, obviously that's the great saying, but you lose to the Panthers, that's got to be such a gut punch. And as you mentioned, it's their home opener, right? And I mean, Antonio Pierce is the guy that you rally around. After they got rid of Micah McDaniel, what a failure that was. Josh McDaniel. Thank you. And you saw them rally last year around him. And I mean, I didn't have any real problems with what he said. He didn't say anybody specific. No. Obviously, if he was to do that, then maybe you'd be crossing a line. But you feel a real culture, a sense of togetherness there. And Antonio Pierce brought that. And they're at home. You have Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, who's great, and I had to ask about Brock Bowers.
Oh, Brock Bowers,
because what I've seen for Brock Bowers in the first 2 weeks is amazing. We're getting this new shift to tight ends where they're making immediate impact. Like I mentioned, Sam Laporta, but Brock Bowers, man, that's going to be the matchup that I think is going to bite us.
Well, and then the other thing that I'm talking about Pierce, which Q said, which is so right on. Usually going to the media is your last resort, but when you do it right away, that's everybody better understand this. Like, every single person on this team, and what did you say, 3-hour meetings, and them kind of understanding. I think you got a laser-focused team coming up this weekend against the Raiders. You got to be on your P's and Q's. We'll get to that tomorrow with our Friday report card, but tonight, Thursday night football, let's roll. 5.5 there, young Ryan, is what I have for the Dallas Cowboys on the road against Danny Dimes and crew. Here we go. Giants are off a massive win as underdogs last week. Since 2003, teams coming off a straight-up win as an underdog cover just 43% of the time the following week. Dating back to the 2023 playoffs, Daniel Jones had lost 9 consecutive against the spread games, with his last win coming in that playoff. Here's Danny Dimes in prime time, which is not good. Jones in his career, 1-13 straight up, and 5-9 against the spread at night in his career, including 0-6 straight up in prime time at home. Since 2003, his 1-13 straight up mark is the lowest winning percentage among any quarterbacks with at least 5 primetime starts. There it goes. Dak Prescott against bad teams, really good. Dak is 32-14-2 against the spread against teams below 500 in his career. That is the second best mark in the last 20 years, only behind one quarterback, right? Which is the one quarterback that beat up on bad teams the best over the last 20 years?
A lot of them.
No. There was only one quarterback who's got a better against the spread record against sub 500 teams over the last 20 years. Dak is 2, who is number 1.
Aaron Rodgers?
Tom Brady. Okay. Think about how bad that division was for a long time.
That's very true. Fair enough.
Very bad. Dak Prescott has loved the role as a favorite. In his career, he is 50-38-2 for a cover percentage of 57% against the spread when he is a favorite in his career. Talking about his own division, beats up. He is 29-11 against the NFC East against the spread in his career. He has been the second most profitable quarterback over the last 20 years against his own division. Guess who number 1 is?
Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
I got that because you said Aaron Rodgers. I just had to throw that in there for you.
Wow, you dirty dog.
In his career, Dak 10-4 against the spread against the Giants, including 5-1 straight up and against the spread on the road at MetLife, not losing since 2016. The thing you might look at, Thursday night home teams, but they are only 38-52 against the spread since 2019. So they don't cover well Thursday night home teams on that. Mike McCarthy covers 57% of the games in his career following a loss. Everything screams Dallas here. I've got some that have it at 6. I hate that. I want the hook. So give me 5.5. Let me check one other thing for you real quick. The look-ahead line for this game was 6.5 or even 7 until the Giants won. That pushes it down. By the way, I think it's going to go up before the game starts there. All right, here you go. Giants have only lost one of their last 7 home games by more than 4.5 points. So they lose, but they keep it close. Giants have also covered the spread in 7 of their last 10 games as an underdog. Would you give it to me at 5.5? Do you want the hook? You want the 5.5 there?
Yeah, I do want it.
Okay. I'll write it down. I'll remember. I'm going Cowboys. Cowboys.
Okay, I'm going Giants.
You're going Giants. All right, we'll split on that.
And I'm locking in a Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown. I don't know if you've kept up with. There's a very big beef between Malik Neighbors and Trayvon Diggs.
Oh, I did not know
big
that.
Beef.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so there's something to be said there. Okay, I like that. I like it. The thing is also, if they run with Devin Singletary, Cowboys are allowing 5.5. 5.5 yards per carry. That is dead last in the NFL for Dallas.
Henry's Derrick Henry, but boy, did he have his way.
Oh, no, 100%. That defense, I'm telling you, I don't know what the hell Jerry Jones is thinking. They have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. That's it. And I know that a lot of teams are predicated on their top 4 or top 5 guys, but bro, they don't have anybody else. They don't have anybody else on there. I kind of like the over-under maybe for this game. Here's what I got.
Yeah.
Dallas is just 2-6 against the spread their last 8 games, again, going back to last year. The over is hit in all 5 of Dallas's games, all 3 this year going back to last year. The over has hit. I mentioned they've owned the Giants. Dak Prescott has owned them as well. You flip it over to the Giants, 7-3 against the spread their last 10, but the under has hit 4 out of their last 5 games. What was the over that hit? The Browns game. New York is 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games at home. What do we got in the over-under for this? Not that it really matters. I'm just kind of interested. 44.5. Now, you know my rule.
Yes.
I like the under and the dog on Thursday, and I'm bucking the trend.
I'm going over in the favorite?
I might take the over.
Wow.
If they're going to run with Singletary, I like your anytime touchdown from Malik Neighbors.
You want a nice parlay?
You want a little boost? You want to know another one too? I think Rico Dowdell gets in the end zone tonight.
Nah.
That's a long shot.
Yeah, that is a long shot.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Alternate spread, Giants plus 10.5 with a Malik Neighbors touchdown. That's plus 166.
That's not bad at all.
Plus 166.
Not bad at all. I like it. Weather tonight, 73 with an 87% humidity. No rain in the forecast, but it's going to be cloudy tonight. So it'll be nice, perfect temperatures there. Giants on the year, 1 home game did not cover. Dallas, 1 road game they did cover. I mentioned 0-3 as far as the over-under goes for the Giants, and then 3-0 coming up there for Dallas on that. So we'll differ on that one. You'll take New York, and I will take Dallas. Final thing for us. Bracket of the week.
Yes,
Final
sir.
set. Best cover song.
Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower.
Fair enough.
Run DMC, Walk This Way.
Love it.
Johnny Cash, Hurt.
Fair enough.
And Soft Cell,
Kind
Tainted
of an
Love.
upset. Was that not a little upset there with Tainted Love? I think it was.
It beat out Respect.
Yeah, that's a big one right there. So we'll send that out at Matt Fontana Show. Drops a follow there. Can I get you a little hint? Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Because when we ace the grid tomorrow,
yes,
you're going to want to be subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Wordle. Like, if we choke that
let's
away,
not get cocky.
That'd be like a Browns-Jets choke.
Let's not get penis. Let's not get cocky. Finish that out. That was from Family Guy. You don't remember that?
No.
You're a big Family Guy. You don't remember that?
Red Rocket?
Let's stop that. Let's figure that out tomorrow. We'll finish it on out. We got Friday report card tomorrow. Got our picks ready to go for the weekend.
Yes.
We're rolling hot. Rolling pretty hot.
Yes. I'm looking to extend my primetime first touchdown score streak.
What do you got tonight? Spread the love, please. First. You like Malik anytime. Who's your first?
Yes. I'm still thinking about it. I'm leaning Devin Singletary. That'd be some good odds.
I like that. Kind of do. All right, get ready to go for tonight. We'll talk to you on Friday. Do not forget tonight, Barley House. Go tonight. Pull it one more time for me. There it is. Blake and Greg tonight, starting at 7. You can hang out with them, watch the game. We'll see you at Barley House tonight at 7 o'clock. You're looking for something to do. Scan the QR code there, and you'll be able to check it out. There it is. So we'll see you tonight at Barley House. Enjoy your evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.